Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm so glad you are tuning in today. I have a really fun topic I'm going to talk about. Before we dive into that, listen, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content. I really feel these videos are meant to encourage and to strengthen you no matter what walk of life you're at right now. So again, thank you for watching. And if you feel like this video is going to help someone, copy paste it, text it to someone, share it, post it on your social media app so we can get the word of God into people's lives more than ever before. Okay, so today I got a really interesting topic and I feel all like chill, laid back, comfy. I got my coffee because this is just a straight heart talk. And if you clicked on this video, we both know why you're here. And let's just get real. I'm going to talk straight up to you. Let me help you today because it is a challenging topic. But at the same time, I want to help you with it, okay? I want to help give you some red flags in your relationship. If you're watching this right now, you might even be asking yourself, do I need to break up with this person? What's going on? You know, you're kind of confusing. You know, I believe relationships, God's given us relationships to be a source of joy, to be a source of peace, of fun. It's supposed to, complete us in a lot of ways. We see that in even the life of Adam and Eve. God said it's not good that man be alone. And so he created a helper suitable for him. So relationships, I believe, can be such a source of fulfillment. But let's just be honest. We all have been in situations where they are a source of pain, of frustration, of confusion, all these different things, especially in the dating phase, in the dating arena. It's tough, it's challenging. We've all been there. So let me help you out. What are some, red flags you need to be looking for to ultimately even answer the question, is this a sign that we need to end it? Is this a sign we need to break up? Listen, let me start off with this. Very basic, very easy, but the first red flag you need to look for is whether or not you are constantly fighting, constantly arguing. This is a big red flag. I've talked to couples so many different times before who, maybe they've been dating, 6 months, 8 months. They're at that peak moment where they're contemplating like, okay, are we in this for the long haul? Are we going to get married? They're in a stage of life where they can get married. So they're really kind of bouncing this back and forth between each other saying, are we about to do this? There might even be an engagement ring involved. You could even be engaged. I've talked to couples before where honestly they're kind of in that pivotal moment of about to take that next step, but it's like they're never happy with each other. Constantly fighting, constantly bickering, constantly at each other, and ultimately in a major place of frustration. This is a major red flag. We have to see this. We have to understand what is going on and really say, am I really even happy? Like I was talking to a couple one time and said, we just fight all the time. Or this is another big thing. You break up, you get back together. You break up, you get back together. You break up. If you're constantly breaking up before marriage covenant, that's a major red flag. Let's just talk straight. I would be very concerned if someone is constantly going back and forth and I want to be with you and I don't want to be with you. That's a big deal. You need to put some really, I would pump the brakes a little bit and I would really assess to say, is this working? If you're having like knockdown, drag out arguments over the phone and in person and storming out and slamming doors, that's not a good indicator. I'm just a believer that relationships, especially dating into marriage, they need to be easy. Dating's supposed to be fun. Like if dating's not fun and you're kind of struggling with everything and you're not really having fun with one another and you're kind of dreading the date and we got in this huge fight last night and that's a major red flag. I would really pump the brakes then and really just kind of stop and assess and say, is this something we need to move forward on? I believe where you're at in the season of your relationship should be marked with joy and excitement. And again, all relationships will have tension. I'm not saying has to be free from tension. You have to float around on marshmallows and, it's just, we're just in a... relationships will have tension. That's actually a guarantee because you have two different individuals coming together. That's tension isn't necessarily just like a boom. We got to end this right now. I'm talking about consistent tension. Like 90% of your relationship is tension, fighting, arguing, frustration. That is a red flag you need to look out for. Okay, so if there's no peace, you're constantly breaking up, you're constantly fighting. That's a red flag. Pump the brakes. Second one is even a little bit more intense. Manipulation. If you feel like the person in your relationship is constantly manipulating you, that's a red flag you need to look out for. What do I mean by manipulation? Manipulation is when someone uses your emotions to control you. Yeah, that's pretty intense, pretty sketchy, but we've let's just be honest, we've all done it. We've had it done to us. Manipulation is a really intense thing. Let me give you a scenario. Say you've had a long day. Your boyfriend or girlfriend wants to hang out that night, but you're exhausted. You're tired. Everything's great. You just say, "Hey, listen, I'm so tired. Can you mind if I call you later? I need to go home. I need to spend time with the Lord. I just need to have a little bit of alone time. But I'll call you before I go to bed. We'll talk before we go to bed. I want to hear about your day." Everything's great. And their response is typically like, "Oh, no, it's fine. You never do this. You're always about yourself. Oh no, that's fine. I'll just be by myself tonight." And they're trying to make you, what they're trying to do, they're trying to make you sad to get their way. They're trying to use your emotions to get your way. Well, oh no, it's fine. And it's often this, "Oh, it's fine. No, it's okay. I'll just be by myself tonight, all alone. Okay, no, it's fine." And you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you know what? Yeah, just come over for dinner. Yeah, you're fine. And I understand there's moments in relationships where we need to sacrifice and there's different things like that. But rather than manipulation, there needs to be clear communication. Because what would be the healthier version of that? "Listen, I've had a really rough day. I don't really want to be alone tonight. Is there any way we could, would you want to hang out a little bit later? Or how about, you do this and I'll give you a call at this time." Like there's a healthy way to do that. But at the same time, when someone is trying to use your emotions against you to control you, that's a major red flag in my book. I would be very upfront about that. And I would even address that behavior. "Hey, I feel like you kind of manipulated me into this." That's a major thing that we've got to look out for in all of our relationships, especially a dating relationship, because marriage won't fix that. Marriage won't be the deciding factor in that. If anything, it will be increased. That's even something, if you're engaged and you feel like there's a manipulating aspect, bring that up in pre-marriage counseling, which is a great opportunity for me to tell you, you need pre-marriage counseling. Like not if, but you need it. Y'all two know you need to go sit down with a pastor and you need to have them pour into this season of your life in preparation for marriage. If you feel like you're constantly being manipulated, then you do that. What's another sign of manipulation? Pity parties. You forgave. Say you did something wrong. You apologize, but they hold it over you. Why? They're trying to get something out of you. They're trying to get you to do something. Rather than healthy communication, they're twisting communication to get a response out of you. Be on the guard for manipulation. Also, that within this line, if they don't respect your boundaries, it's a big one. They don't respect your boundaries. I'll even go so far to say, remember we're This is just, I hope you got a cup of coffee. This is just a little help. All right. I'm trying to help you out. All right. If they don't respect your physical boundaries, and y'all put up physical boundaries, say we're not going to do this till we're married, and they're constantly trying to pull you into that, red flag. You say you do need some alone time, and they're constantly making you feel bad for you having to do that. You've got to understand, y'all aren't married right now. That's a major problem I see in couples, is that when they're dating, they treat each other like they're married. You're not married. You don't have to tell them, you don't have to answer to them. What were you doing here? What's going on? That's not the season of life you're in. Now, when you get engaged, that's where you do need to talk about finances. You need to talk about all these different things that elevates in sense. But when you're dating, you're not married. They don't have that full control over you. So if you need a night by yourself, you can get a night by yourself. Okay? You have to understand that and say, if they're not respecting your boundaries, that's a major red flag. All right. Third thing is this. It's just a practical thing. If you're constantly questioning and you don't have peace, I would say pump the brakes. I've heard of people getting into relationships and it kind of grows faster than they wanted it to. Whether it was their fault or not, it's kind of one of those things where it's like you're constantly it just kind of evolved into something you did not want it to evolve into. And it's like, here you are, you kind of had questions from the very beginning, and you silence those questions. It'll be fine. I really like this person. They're really great. I could really see ourselves. But now it's to the point where you're looking at rings, you're talking about marriage, and it's to a place where it's moving towards the goal line of marriage, but you're like, oh no, I don't know if this is it. You have to listen to that voice. Unfortunately, I've heard of so many different stories of people dragging it out to engagement and having to break off engagement. I've heard stories of people the day before their wedding saying, oh no, this isn't it. I can't do this. Those are major things you have to look out for. I feel like with this, especially in relationships, there will be a peace through every open door. You're talking, there's peace to move forward. You're dating, you become exclusive. Okay, there's peace to move forward. I have peace about getting engaged. Okay, I really have peace about getting married. Leaning into that, understanding that God will bring us peace. Because let me just be very straight with you. If you silence those questions and get married, you're married. You're in covenant now. And you're bound to one another in covenant. And there is no backing out. There is no, 2 years into the marriage and say, I made the wrong choice. No. This is your life now. So you've got to be extra diligent now to lean into those questions. I think it's normal for everyone in relationships to kind of have that thing to say, okay, this is a big deal. You need to have the fear of the Lord when it comes to marriage. Say, this is covenant. This is forever. We can't change our minds. This is till death do us part. Let me look at this relationship at all different aspects and make sure this is something I want to move forward with. If you've ever bought a car from a dealership, it's stressful. I can't even begin to tell you how many different times I've gone to look at a car. I'm very intense when it comes to looking at cars. I'm crawling underneath it. I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at the contract. I'm going through everything. Y'all, and I felt so bad. Car salesman, I will be down to the final moment. They're like, sir, all you got to do is sign right here. We're going to get you in this car today. We're going to get you in this car today. It comes with a blah, 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 blah. They're trying to sell it. And I've literally said, can't do it. I'm sorry. Sorry, I can't do it. And they're like, but you're so close. No, I can't do it. Why? Because I know when I sign that contract, that car's mine. It's mine. That's it, And you got to understand that when it comes with marriage, when you say yes to them, you're in it till death do us part, through hell and high water. We're doing this. So when you're dating, it's a great time for you to lean into those questions. Lean into those red flags and say, okay, is this something that we can walk through together, or is this something that I don't feel we're in the right place on this? Okay, so lean in the lack of peace. Last one, finally, is this: is if you are, I'm going to throw out a biblical term, unequally yoked. You knew that was coming. In the Bible, Paul said this: do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. I would even go so far to say a red flag is whether or not your spiritual pursuit is in a different place than theirs. And I say this with great understanding, and I want you to hear my heart, because if you're having to beg them to go to church, if you're having to beg them to serve the Lord, that's going to be a major point of tension in your marriage. Like, if they're just kind of like going to church to make you happy, they have no real desire to burn for Jesus or to serve God, and it's just kind of like, oh yeah, I love Jesus, but it's like if you're having to drag them along in dating, you will have to drag them along in marriage, if not more. Because what I'm afraid of and what I've seen is they'll play the game during dating and engagement, and they'll go to church with you, and they'll raise their hand in worship, and let's do a 30-day Bible study together. Then they get married, and they don't have to fake it anymore. And you'll come to a Sunday morning and say, all right, guys, come on, let's go to church. And they'll be like, I ain't going, you can go. And you don't, like, if your relationship with the Lord is the center of your life, your relationship needs to be founded in that too, to where you're not having to drag them along. You're actually having to catch up with them. Like, I remember years ago, I heard someone say, a great way for you to find your spouse is to run hard as you can after God, and whoever's keeping your pace, marry that person. And I remember hearing that, and I remember my prayer was distinctly, I said, Lord, I don't only just want to look over and see them there. I want to have to run as hard as I can to keep up with them. And the Lord gave that to me in Lexie. Like, she's so on fire for God, always has been, so consistent. And it was something in me to where we encourage each other in our walk with the Lord. You want to have someone who encourages you in your pursuit of God, not hinders you and weighs you down. That's a major red flag. I mean, that's a deal breaker, to be honest, in a lot of ways. They might have the money, they might have the looks, they might make you laugh and all that different stuff. But if the spiritual component is not there, they will frustrate you. It will frustrate you. Now, I'm a firm believer God can encounter them and God can meet them where they're at. My prayer is that. But I would say before you move forward, maybe even have a very upfront conversation to say, listen, God is the most important thing about my life. Like, where are you at with this? I don't want to feel like I have to drag you along. I don't want to feel like I have to beg you to serve God. I want to know you're with me in this. And they might say, to be honest, I'm not right now, but I want to be. You can work with that. You can work with that. Again, pre-marriage counseling. Pre-marriage counseling. You need that. Why? Because in that, if you're engaged and that's going on, you can say to the pastor, Pastor, I feel like I carry the main spiritual weight of this. I feel like they're not really interested in God. What do we do? And the pastor can speak into that person and say, listen, you need to get discipled. You need to burn for Jesus, and God will work that out. Again, listen, if you are experiencing some of these red flags, all right, I say there's 2 courses of action you need to do. 1, you need to pray and say, all right, God, do I need to end this? And that's a tough conversation. And breakups aren't fun. We know it. But rip off the Band-Aid now rather than suffering. Years down the road and you say, I should have done it then. Why? God will help you through it. Let them down gently. Be open. Be honest. Really, but take it to the Lord in prayer. Make it a matter of prayer. Like, please don't go and be like, hey, I watched this video from Jacob Peterson and he told me to break up with you. Don't do that, please. Like, if I have some dude show up in Alabama trying to fight me in a Walmart parking lot, I don't need that, y'all, please. So don't tell them a YouTube guy told you to break up, okay? No, like, pray, seek the Lord, talk to people. And it might be the answer. It might need to be something you need to say, hey, there's so many red flags I can hardly see right now. Or two, you need to have a tough conversation with the person you're in a relationship with. Sit down with them and say, hey, these are the red flags I have. You're not pursuing the Lord. You manipulate me. You don't respect my boundaries. Like those different things. We're constantly fighting. We're not happy. Sometimes I've seen people do that in relationships. Sit down and say, listen, we're not happy. I really like you, but man, we fight all the time. Like this isn't working. And they're like, you know what? You're right. It's not working. Okay. Have a real conversation. Okay. Listen, Hunger Games sign, peace be with you. Have fun with that. You know, maybe I might do a follow-up video on how to break up with someone. Stay tuned for that. If you're in the first category, stay tuned for that. Maybe I can help you there. But listen, go to the Lord in prayer. He'll lead you and guide you. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you had fun. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content. Have fun. God bless you guys. See y'all later.